Have you ever shared a big dream with everyone around you, full of excitement and enthusiasm? Think about that moment. The curiosity in people's eyes, the way they listened to you, the way they applauded you. That feeling? It was truly beautiful, wasn't it? But did you also notice, after that conversation, something inside that plan somehow emptied out? The energy was gone. The excitement faded. But why? Today I want to share a story that explains exactly this. In a small and quiet village, there lived an ambitious young man named Arjun. Arjun was smart, full of dreams and bursting with energy. Every week a new idea was born in his mind. One week he would think about opening a small bakery in the village. The next week he would want to learn carpet weaving. The week after that, he would set his mind on building a stone house. His ideas never ran out. Unfortunately, his steps never quite got started either. Arjun had a habit that was uniquely his own, one he was completely unaware of. The moment an idea came to his mind, he couldn't keep it inside. He would immediately rush to the marketplace, call out to everyone he knew and didn't know, and announce his plan with great excitement. When he shouted, "I'm going to open a bakery unlike anything this village has ever seen," people would smile, clap and say, "Well done, Arjun." That night Arjun would lie in his bed feeling happy and proud. He would feel as though he had already succeeded. But when the sun rose in the morning, that great enthusiasm had given way to a strange emptiness and tiredness. Days would pass. The bakery was never opened, the carpet weaving plan began the same way and ended the same way. So did the house construction. Every single time, Arjun would gather everyone together, tell his story with passion, collect the praise and then stop. His hands never truly worked. His life stood still. Years passed like this. People began to smile and move on when Arjun made his announcements. Nobody took him seriously anymore. And that was what hurt the most. Deep down he felt ashamed, angry at himself, yet he could never understand why. On lonely nights he would ask himself, "Is there something wrong with me? Why can I never make it happen?" One autumn evening, Arjun was sitting alone under the old banyan tree at the edge of the village. His eyes were lost in the distance. At that moment, someone approached him. It was the village's oldest blacksmith, Master Rajan. Rajan was a man of few words, but when he did speak, everyone listened closely. He quietly sat down beside Arjun. The two of them remained silent for a long time. Then instead of asking anything, Rajan simply waited. Arjun poured his heart out. "Master," he said, "for so many years I have wanted to build something. But I have never finished anything. It feels like something inside me is broken." Rajan slowly lifted his head and asked just one question. "Tell me, when an idea comes to your mind, what is the very first thing you do?" Arjun answered without thinking, "I tell everyone, of course. I want them to hear it, to know about it, to get excited with me. When people believe in me, I believe in myself too." Rajan was not surprised at all. He simply smiled gently. "Come early tomorrow morning," he said. "I want to show you something. Not tell you, show you." The next morning, as dawn was just breaking, Arjun was waiting in Rajan's garden. Rajan came out of the door holding 2 seeds in his hand. He held both out to Arjun, then took one back. "Bury this one in the soil," he said, pointing to the other. Arjun knelt down, dug a small hole and placed the seed in the earth. He covered it over. Then Rajan raised the second seed high in the air. He called out to some children playing near the garden wall, "Look, children. From this seed, a great banyan tree will grow very soon. It will be the most beautiful tree you have ever seen in your lives." The children laughed and clapped. Rajan smiled and neatly placed the seed on top of a stone by the side of the road. He left it there. Just like that, days passed. Every morning Rajan quietly went down to the garden and watered the seed buried in the soil. He said not a single word about it. Arjun would come by with curiosity and look. A week later, a tiny green sprout appeared on the surface of the soil. Delicate, small but alive. Rajan watered it again. And again stayed silent. In the second week the sprout grew a little taller. In the third week the leaves opened. Meanwhile, what had happened to the seed on the stone? The sun had scorched it. The wind had scattered it. The birds had pecked at it. Nothing remained. Just an empty stone. Rajan led Arjun over to the small green plant. He bent down, looked at the plant, then turned to Arjun. "Arjun," he said, "what does a seed need in order to grow?" Arjun thought for a moment. "Soil, water, light." "Yes," said Rajan. "But before all of those, silence. And darkness. A seed grows underground, in a place where no one can see it, in an environment where no one is talking about it. You saw what happens when you take it out and show it to everyone, when you leave it in the open. Your dreams are just like these seeds, my son." Arjun's eyes filled with tears. Everything was so clear now. After every single announcement, the applause of the people had felt so good to him. His mind had mistaken that applause for success. While the goal was still at the very beginning of the road, a feeling of already achieved had formed inside him. The energy had flowed away along with the words. Rajan continued, words are powerful, Arjun. But when you spend that power in the wrong place, when you tell the story before the work is done, when you fill yourself up with praise, there is no energy left inside you to take action. Dreams need silence during the most fragile period of their existence. Just like a newly born flame. If you blow wind over it, it goes out. That night as Arjun walked home, his steps were different. Heavier, more determined. He sat down at his table, took a piece of paper and picked up his pen. He wrote down one goal. Just one. Small but concrete, he was going to build a wooden bookshelf. He folded the paper and put it in his pocket. He told no one. The next morning he stood at his woodworking bench. He began, without any announcement, without waiting for any applause, day after day, every evening after finishing his daily work, he went to his corner and worked. Sometimes his hands were nearly bleeding. Sometimes his eyes were drooping with exhaustion. But nobody knew. It was both liberating and strange. Nobody was asking questions, nobody had expectations, he carried no fear of disappointing anyone. There was only him, his wood and the shape in his mind. Mistakes happened. Planks cracked, measurements didn't line up. But after every mistake he started again. And slowly, quietly, without a sound, the bookshelf came into being. When the bookshelf was finished, Arjun simply looked at it. For a long time. For the first time in his life, that feeling was there inside him. It was hard to put into words, but it was this: with his own hands, his own time, his own sweat, he had brought something into existence. Before anyone had said, well done, to him, that thing was already real. Already solid. Already beautiful. That was what real pride was. A few days later his neighbor knocked on his door. She stopped when she saw the bookshelf. Arjun, did you make this with your own hands? She asked in amazement. Yes, said Arjun simply. When? You didn't tell anyone. Arjun shrugged his shoulders. I didn't want to say anything until it was finished. His neighbor smiled in surprise. Word spread. People came and saw. They praised him. But Arjun had never felt praise this lightly before. It was beautiful, but he was no longer dependent on it. Because the fullness inside him had come long before years passed. Arjun became one of the most well-known craftsmen in the village. Tables, shelves, doors, frames. His hands worked without pause. But he never announced anything in advance. He never tried to celebrate an unfinished piece of work. People began to call him Master Arjun. Young people would come to ask, how are you able to be so productive? Arjun would say the same thing every time: bury it in the soil. Stay silent. Water it. Wait. Now I am thinking of you. Perhaps right now there is an idea in your mind. A project, a change, a dream. And perhaps there is a powerful urge inside you to tell everyone about it. Recognize that urge. Understand it. And slow down. Because sharing that excitement relieves you, but at the same time it consumes the fuel inside you. Protect your dreams. Make space for them within the silence. Work with your hands, let no one watch. When it is complete, everyone will see it anyway. And that moment cannot be compared to any applause. Bury your seed in the soil. Don't speak. Water it. Let it grow. When it becomes a tree, everyone will see it without you saying a word. Did this story touch your heart? Then share it with someone who needs to hear it. Keep following us for more. Until next time.